think we need to put in for raising ticket prices to come watch us play. We definitely give everybody their money's worth. Guys were very resilient. We knew this was going to be a difficult game. I had concerns during the week, not about our preparation mentally, but being a little bit fatigued after last week's game because of the total number of plays, and I think there was probably some truth to that. But in the end, the defense, I think, made 3 stops in the end. We couldn't really slow them down a lot during the middle of the game. And then offensively, we were able to make some plays, come up with big catches and 2-point conversion, so on and so forth. No turnovers, big deal. Much better as a punter, much better as a kicker, much better kick coverage, much better punt coverage. Those are things that we've strived and worked hard in the last 2 weeks to improve, and we're able to do it. So I'm proud of the guys for that. In the last series, when we broke the huddle, we told 4 and 8 they're going to go after you. They're going to post up their big guys. They're going to throw it at you. And 8 came up with 2 big plays, and then obviously 4 made a big one in the end. We knew that's what they were going to do. That's what they should do with those big guys. So I was very proud of those guys for that. Trey Carter came up with a big sack. Should have ended the game. We missed 2 tackles on the 4th and 14. That sack should have put it out of reach, but why not more excitement for us? You know, why not let them convert 4th and 15 and go again? So, but anyway, I was proud of our guys. You know, they're an interesting team. They've been that way the last couple of years, and especially this year. There's just not enough flashed when you watch them to make people think anything other than how are they as successful as they've been until you play them, and they're just good at what they do. They don't make a lot of mistakes. Neither team turned the ball over until the last play, I think. So that's what you get. The one thing that I was disappointed in, we've worked hard on and we've gotten better until today, is we had too many penalties. We had Bundage got into some kind of an altercation with a guy that upsets me. 7 got called for a clothesline. He needs to not do that. I'm not so sure how all that happened. I couldn't see over there. But then Trey Flowers, he knows better than to lead with the crown of his helmet and to hit up here. We talk about hitting from the stomach down. So those things concerned me. We had the holding call there at the end of the game at the wrong time. So we'll try to work hard this week to minimize penalties and continue to improve as a team.
Mike, what does it take for a guy like AJ to be thrown out all game, to go through what every defensive back goes through the Big 12?
Yeah, both of them are freshmen, and they're young, and they learn a lot on the run. And I said this to the team in there. You know, when I watched them go after 8 and 4, you've got to stop the run. So you got to play the extra guys, or they're just going to run the ball in. Most of what they're doing is in an RPO system also. So I wouldn't want to be out there covering those guys with all that field space, and they're 6 inches taller than me or 5 inches taller. It takes a lot of guts to fight them off, and especially when you know they're coming right at you. And that's what the first thing I said, Jenny, to the team afterwards, is I was proud of those guys because they're going right at you, and they found a way to make a play.
Is that what AJ did there? Is that something that you guys practice, or is that just him?
He just made a play. You know, you see a guy on a fade route, and you inside out, you try to wall him off, and then you got to get your eyes back fast enough. And I think what you saw today, most of you guys have watched all of our games. 6 weeks ago, he was never getting his eyes back. Both of them, they were blind to the ball, and they're not seeing the ball. And now they're feeling that biological clock they have tells them to feel and look for the ball. And so they're improving. As we progress and they get older in a few years, it ought to be even better for us. So they're just kind of learning how to play.
You mentioned the physical fatigue. Is that something you could sense on the sideline early when it was 14-0? Did you sense guys just weren't as energetic as normal?
I just sensed it during the week in practice. I guess the best illustration would be like when you get sick and your doctor gives you antibiotics and you're on them for a couple days. you still don't feel you just feel like you're slow. You just don't feel, you don't have any energy. And that's kind of what I saw Tuesday and Wednesday in practice. Their attitude was great. I just saw not as much energy, and so that was a concern of mine. That's the first time I've seen that this year. And then you look back at the play in the game, not only the emotional part of it, but total number of plays, and it was a track meet. A lot of times that can happen, so that was a concern.
What about Marcel today? Obviously James playing mostly decoy for you guys.
Yeah.
He just seemed like he did it 2 years ago.
Poor James. they put a guy on him, they put another guy over the top of him, they put another guy halfway, and they just move all three of them around all the time. And so obviously everybody else has to catch passes, or you have to run the ball. You know, it worked for 523 yards for us. So, but James, he gets to go out there and line up and hang out. But that's when you're the best receiver in the country. That's what you're going to get. So I can't blame him for doing it. But Aitman and obviously McCleskey and those guys made plays. But Marcel's got a gift. He has a special gift, an ability to go up and get the ball. He's a basketball player. He thought he was a basketball player, and that part of what he brings to the table is huge for our team, and his competitiveness. And the other side of that is this: those two balls that Rudolph threw, those are great balls, because he sees a big guy there with another guy from the other team, and I'm going to put the ball at the highest point and give my guy a chance to go make a play. So he played a huge role in those completions.
Did you see that coming together on the last touchdown in particular? 'Cause it looked like it was they had
The one Aitman,
Yeah.
I didn't think there was a chance in the world we were going to get a completion. I couldn't see all the way over there. It had to be a fantastic catch. I mean, just because I just saw two guys over there jockeying for position. I mean, it looked like that a three-point shot had gone off, and there was two guys under the goal. I mean, that's really, from where I could see, it looked like two guys jockeying for a rebound. And smart move on two's part, and then heck of a play by three.
Justice Hill more the same.
Yeah, 25 carries, 150 yards, and a lot of it, he's making guys miss. So I said this a week ago. I mean, if there's a better one out there, I'd like to see it. I mean, I hear about the guy at Penn State, I hear about the guy at Notre Dame, and there's another one somewhere. But yeah, Stanford. But I like him. I like what he does.
Seemed like on a couple of occasions on third down, you guys went to Tyler Wallace.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
On a couple of occasions, you guys went to Tyler Wallace on third down. How important was him to get out there?
You know what's funny is we need to play him more. Yurcich and Dunn must have lost a bet or something, because I don't know why he's not in the game more. Well, I do know why, because 28's in the game. But when he's in the game and we've thrown it to him, guys made plays. And the catch he made over there, I think that was 3rd and 15 or something. And he made a fantastic catch right here in front of the bench. I'm excited about his future, what he brings to the table.
How is Trey doing? And obviously you mentioned not liking the targeting call. Now you'll lose him for the first half next week.
Yes. I mean, I guess he's fine. I mean, you talking about his head?
Yeah.
I think he's fine. I hate that we're going to lose him, but I think his head's fine.
When you talk about your guys being worn down this week, and obviously what they went through early in this game, is that as much a mental struggle to get over some of that fatigue
Sure.
feeling, and then to fall behind by a couple touchdowns?
It can be. I don't think we had any mental lag. There's enough mature guys, because we practiced well. They just didn't have the skip in their step. And I didn't even share that with the staff, because it doesn't do any good. In doing this a long time now, if I think it's because of a mental issue, then I'll share with the staff. We got to get them going, because they're not in it. I didn't think that was an issue. I just saw that they just didn't have as much juice, and so they may have seen it. I didn't talk about it, but I watched it and swallowed that pill, and was hoping that that we could kind of overcome it. Now, we didn't start the game out slow. We didn't stop them, but I mean, we dropped a pass on our first drive, and then we moved up and down the field fine. But I was just worried about having that extra gear that we could kick into, because really that's who we are. You know, that's how we make our money.
Mason had to extend a lot of plays today. What do you think his pocket?
He was good today. He held the ball too long on the one time where the guy got him from behind, and we talked to him about that. And that's a mistake he made early in the year, and it cost us a fumble. And he's got to get out of that, because when you're up, when you make 3 slides and the pocket's built and you're up, you slide up, your biological clock's got to tell you, I got to go. Now, he's got guts. He'll stay in the pocket, but percentages say that only something bad can happen then. So he's got to learn to do that. And that'll be with him for the rest of his career, especially the next level. You standing there like that, you're going to get your helmet ripped off. So, but he was really good today. The challenge for us, you guys know, is the game slowed down for us. The other team is, slow, and the way they play and everything slowed down. And so our staff has to make those adjustments. We can do that. It's just not as fun. So.
In relation to Mason, probably won't be talked about much, but one of the calls of the game was Winford on that 4th down. He ran a quarterback draw. Do you feel good about that before?
It's a nice call. That's why we brought Yurcich here from Shippensburg, to make calls like that. When he first said it, I thought he lost his mind. I thought he thought J.W. Walsh was playing. And then I looked over there and I said, it's 6.5 yards. That's an eternity for him. And so we tied a little RPO into it. He had a little two-way, actually a three-way, three-pronger that he could have done. Could have thrown it here, thrown it there, or kept it. And then I got thinking. I told him to go for it, and I said, come up with the best play. So if it doesn't work, I'm not going to suggest anything, because then I can say I told you so. I didn't want to get involved in that world. But I thought it was a hell of a play call, and I thought it was a hell of a run by him. Now, one thing that made me nervous, and I haven't corrected him on it, he shouldn't be sliding head first on 4th down. Hey, Yurcich, you with me? He can't slide head first on backwards on 4th down. They marked that ball back this far.
If he does it again, I'll bet you.
Yeah. Can you imagine? That would have not been fun if they would have marked it back behind the stick. And so we just need to remind him of that, because I don't think kids realize, not kids, he's a man, but he's 22, he's a man. I don't think people realize that when they slide, they don't give them, they mark it way back where it was. So that made me a little nervous. We just need to run that by him. But it was a really nice play call.
On the next set of downs, you ran the ball on 3rd and 15. Did you just decide to go for total?
You see how far back they were playing pass? So it goes back to the geometry part of football. You got to get 15. They're going to play 8 people at least 12 yards deep, and they had the back 5 at like 18 yards deep. So your quarterback takes a 6 or 7 yard drop. He's got to throw the ball at least 10 to make a miss to get 15. So the ball is to travel in the air anywhere from 17 to 25 yards. They got everybody back, and they got vision to the quarterback. There's just not many places to throw it. Now, we've done it before. He's done it. But we said, let's just run the ball, because there's a chance 5 can break it. Maybe 27 was in the game, though, right? So it'd be hard for him to break it if 27 was in the game. But they could break it, and it would give us the field goal. So you just play the percentages, There's a left-handed batter up, bring in the lefty in relief.
How much did you address keeping their Big 12 pilots reliable? Is that something you didn't have to bring up?
I haven't talked about that this year. They know that, they have a responsibility to play their butt off every game, okay? And I would like for them to play that way regardless. But there's so much information out there, they know everything. We don't have to bring much of that up. I think they understand all that, and they realize how important each game is.
I should ask you if you've ever been for a game like that. I know the answer.
Well, last week.
Yeah, right.
And at West
Probably
Virginia.
a few other times.
At West Virginia and Texas, and that's what I said. We should petition for increased ticket sales and charge people more to come watch us play. because we're definitely exciting, and people get their money's worth, and they don't change the channel, so they get all the commercial value. But it's every week for us, and I said this 7 weeks ago. It'll be this way in the league. You know, they went out to Iowa. They went to Morgantown last week and played a 4-point game, and I mean, it's just every week in this league with the way things are built.
I know you don't have a choice in how the games play out. Do you enjoy that? Do you like standing on the sideline when games are coming down?
Yeah, you know, I wish I really enjoy the strategic part of the game, the X's and O's right up to the last second. You know, making the quarterback draw a call on 4th and 6. That's pretty cool. Seeing the kids make a play. I don't get it as I've done it for long enough now to where the games don't mess with me that much. So would I like it to be a little smoother in the last 5 minutes of the game? Sure. I wish we would have converted a first down. That was about as close as I could have ever gotten to going for it on 4th and 2, but we got a terrible spot. Didn't we? And so I wanted them to move the ball because we felt like it was like 6 to 8 inches. And so, I mean, we were debating on going for it. You know, you either win the game or you lose it, right? Or you tie it, because we're still ahead by 7, right? So you win it or you tie it. It's not like you're ahead by 3 and they can score to beat you. So, I mean, I was going to go for it, just roll with it, but they didn't move the spot. Now, I was going to challenge, but my buddy over there on the sideline, the referee, I said, why did you spot the ball back there? The ball was way up here. And he said, well, that's what I saw. I said, okay, what do we do about challenging it? And he said, they've been looking at it for 3 minutes, Coach. You're wasting your time. I said, okay, sounds good. So, but that was a little shocking to me because not only was he on top of the other guy, but I thought the ball fell up at least this much further, but I wasn't. 2 yards was a little too much.
What you're dealing with the last few minutes of the game, we were down the field,
Mm-hmm.
kind of keeping an eye on the last half, how open the fist pump or something.
From me?
Yeah, and your arms just crossed almost perpetually. Is that
Oh,
how
well,
it is with you?
yeah, I just, I'm excited for the players, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't want the players to ever think that emotions are taking over for me, because I want them to have a clear mind and a clear head and think and play the game hard. So, it almost goes back to what we talked about in the summer about people think that my attitude's changed the last 2 years, and especially over the last 8 months. I'm just being who I am. That's who I am. I could jump up and down and fist pump, but that'd be fake. I mean, it's the same thing. I go to my kids' games. I mean, I just never been that way, so I just going to be who I am. But don't get me wrong, I'm very excited for the team, very excited. But I'm just not a guy that's going to stand up and cheer and scream. I just never have done that. It just doesn't. I have nothing against that. Doesn't come natural to me to do that.
Anything else from Coach? We got players and coordinators kind of trickling in. Anything else?
All right, gang. The weather was nice today, huh? It was really nice football weather.